everyone, and welcome to the 8th day of Elfmas. Glad to have you all here. We have a special guest. John Tyner is joining us. Elf John is going to share what he's done for the wish that he's been working on. But hope you've all had a good weekend and whatnot. And we're over halfway through the 12 days of Elfmas right now, and getting on the second half of our 2 weeks of challenge. So that's very exciting. How are you, my fellow elves, doing?
Good.
Good.
I'm just watching the weather revise outside. Everything melted last night, and it poured rain, and now we're getting snow, and then we're going to get apparently gale force winds. So,
welcome to Canada. Yes.
Right.
Well, where it melted and poured rain for you, I'm about a 2-hour drive north of where you live.
Yeah.
And it was freezing rain last night, and we had a revisit of the ice storm experience, and we lost power. And in fact, I didn't think I was going to be able to make it here, but the power came on just a few minutes before, so I was able to have a quick shower, and here I am. But
the weather gods like WikiTree.
They must, yes. Well, I hope they like my family who are traveling today to well. But anyways, without further ado, let's turn it over to you, John. So tell us about the wish. Who was it that made the wish, and what was it that she asked for?
It was Matthew Ferguson. He wished that he wanted to get more information on Margaret Maggie Reid, who was born 1876 in Renfrewshire in Scotland. And he had got as far as the 1881 Scottish census and nothing further.
Okay. Should we share your screen so you can talk us through what you've done?
Yes, please. Yes.
There you go.
Okay. What I wanted to do was, since he's got the 1881 census, I wanted to look in the 1891 census. And I found Maggie, a printfield worker, living with her mother, Roseanne Reid, at the old school buildings in Mearns, Renfrewshire. And Matthew already knew that Roseanne, or Rosie, had died in 1894. So what I did was I went on to Scotland's People, which is the where all the Scottish records are found, and it's a pay-per-view site, so I have credits, so I was able to view the image of Rosie's death certificate, and that showed that the informant of the death was, in fact, her daughter, Maggie Reid. So that was the latest bit of information that I could find. So the 1891 census, and she was still alive on the 8th of January, which is when Rosie died in 1894. And that's pretty much it. That's all I could find. I did have a look for possible marriages of Maggie in the right area. There was one in 1939, but that turned out not to be her. So there's more research to be done.
Great. And you can't show the death certificate that you found on Scotland's People because that image is copyrighted, right?
Correct. Exactly. Yes.
That's too bad, because I like to be able to see those. Well, I mean, if I went on Scotland's People myself, I could show that. I could see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Anything else?
Just a little bit more.
Okay.
Let's see. Rosie's husband, William.
Okay.
I noticed Matthew didn't have a death.
Okay. Can you change to change the tabs, John? You have to click on something to share this tab. Can you do that?
Okay. Well, it's whatever's showing there. in the biography there, I put the source
okay.
William.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So Matthew didn't have a death date for William, so he died in 1889 before the 1891 census,
Oh, right.
and it says that he was the husband of Rosie Craig, so that confirmed that was him. Even though there is a discrepancy of his mother's name, it said that she was Elizabeth Drummond instead of Elizabeth Bailey, but being the husband of Rosie Craig, confirmed that it was him. So I think that's all that I found.
Okay. But short and sweet.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, then.
Yeah, and sometimes it's just
Yeah, go ahead.
sometimes there's just not a whole lot to find. You just find whatever you can, and it may just take a while before new records come online to show, to find more things.
Right. So you found Maggie in the 1891 census, and then her mom died 3 years later in 94.
Yeah, and she was the informant.
And she was the informant. Is the 1901 census, is she available, or is she there at all?
Not that I could find, no.
But you couldn't find a death record, like I couldn't find a death record to indicate whether she had died sometime between 91 and 1901.
No.
But I guess with a name like Maggie, now does she show up as Maggie on the official records, or Margaret?
She shows up as Maggie in the latest records. But I did do a search for Margaret and Maggie as well.
Right,
so.
right.
How difficult is it to find records in Scotland usually?
Usually Scottish records are quite good. They're more detailed than English records. I was just wondering, maybe she could have gone to England or some other country in the British Isles. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay, then.
And then, Amanda asked if Maggie may have immigrated, and then Anne was saying marriage records. The problem is, if you have a bunch of Maggie Reeds that marry, it's a process to eliminate them one by one to see which one is the one you're actually looking for.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Because if that marriage record doesn't have the names of the parents, then it's pretty hard to be sure, right?
Yeah, Scottish records actually are very detailed. Like the marriage records would have both parents after 1855, but it is difficult pinpointing down which one is the right one unless you actually open the image.
Right.
Right.
And I'm guessing that Maggie and Reed are both very common names.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts? Do we have any other questions or suggestions from the chat? Just looking through here.
What's a joiner for William? Is that
his job? Oh, his occupation.
His occupation. Yeah, I'm not really sure what a joiner is.
I feel like it must be. Scottish men are quite often masons. I wonder if it.
Well,
skilled craftsperson who builds and fits wooden compartments like doors, windows, stairs, and custom furniture.
There we go. And I was wondering about Maggie's occupation there, printfield worker. Is printfield the name of a place, or is that a description of a type of job? I wonder.
Maggie was working at 14. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Pagan Sky says Scottish records are really good. Wow.
That's amazing. I guess the only drawback is that you have to pay.
Yeah.
For your credits, and then use the credits to get hopefully the correct record.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine.
Yes.
No child labor laws, that's for sure.
Yeah.
A print field occupation isn't a single job, but refers to work in the printing industry, like a print operator, pre-press tech, or bindery worker.
Okay.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing that, John. Yeah. And so this is a free space page that you've created here right now, it looks like.
Yeah, Kathy created it for me.
Okay. So those notes will go on the profile for Maggie, and the research notes are in the biography.
Yeah.
It's great, because that's brings up a good point, because sometimes we do as much as we can. We find the little bits of information that we can to fill in some of the picture, but sometimes we can only go so far, and the records just are too elusive or don't exist yet. And maybe in a couple of years a record set will come along where they will and open things up. So it's good to see a wish that is sort of in progress and has made some progress, and there's still some more. So I guess without further ado, we'll let you go, and we'll be back again tomorrow for the 9th day of Elfmas. So thanks very much for joining us. Thanks, John, for joining us all the way from Ireland. Good to see you. Good to see you all. Have a great day.